Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. Sign up for a 1-week free trial, no credit card required, for access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello everyone, checking back in on the Canadian MJ sector. So an exciting end of the week, but unfortunately for the bulls, it was met with a lot of profit taking. And the news was Ontario getting their act together in terms of how they are going to be handling the legalization, and perhaps giving some motivation to get the other provinces to get their act together as well, and that it is possible to do in this amount of time, and things like that. And we also had WEED doubling their growing production capacity, and that is potentially bullish for the sector as well, of course, for them individually. But it did not lead to strong ends of the week. We did not see bulls wanting to hold into the weekend. It looks like bulls took this as a trading opportunity short term. And we can see WEED here, a big upper wick of profit taking. Resistance was 953, our multiple month high, and we pulled back from 949. The 200-day moving average resistance rejected that last breakout attempt, and we pulled back just under it this time. We can see that moving average is beginning to descend, and we did close above the upper Bollinger Band, but only by a penny. So not even really seeing a breakout attempt, and a rejection in terms of all the profit taking that took place. So a ton of volume, a lot of bull volume there, but also a lot of selling volume, as we can tell with this upper wick. So support the bulls want to hold is $9 and continue the higher lows on the daily time frame. And if we can continue to see higher lows and higher highs, our main target will be 953 to see continuation. The weekly time frame also rejecting from the weekly upper Bollinger Band of 948, pretty much pulling back right from that level. And you can see how tight these Bollinger Bands are getting because the last 6 weeks have been very tight trading. So we did see a bull move, and we are seeing a higher low and higher high pattern since June, but we have to get over 953 to see that new higher high and continuation. But that Bollinger Band is in the way. We need that Bollinger Band to level out and then begin ascending to create room back to the upside. And that's going to take weeks to do. So if we cannot see enough volume to close above the upper Bollinger Band on the weekly time frame in breakout mode, then we can anticipate to trade sideways for multiple weeks at this point. APH is weaker than WEED, and ever since that bear attack in terms of the holdings in the US for APH has really turned the momentum, where APH was stronger on the daily chart beforehand, and after that news circulated, now it is a bit weaker than WEED, and you can see that just in the past 3 days. Upper wicks of profit taking are very consistent. Support is down at 592 and 590. A break of 590 will be bearish short term, and the bulls want to see a break of our recent high of 615. And we got up to 613, but again, an upper wick rejecting, showing profit taking from that upper Bollinger Band resistance. And you can see the Bollinger Bands got very tight, and they are just now starting to ascend slowly to create room for the bulls. But the weekly time frame extremely tight for 5 weeks in a row. Still a higher low and higher high pattern from June as well. If we do break 590, we're looking at 562. And in terms of resistance after 615, we're looking up with a lot of room to the upside, 668 after 615. So bulls made a nice push, but met with profit taking in both these names. ACB didn't see nearly as much profit taking, and ACB was a nice laggard on Friday, where the other names broke out right away, and ACB took about 15-20 minutes until the bulls got going. So that was a nice laggard play, if missing the opportunity right out of the gate in the other names. Still saw profit taking, 261, closed down at 256, not significant profit taking, and we do now have higher highs by breaking this 256 high. That was certainly bullish, and we did close above the upper Bollinger Band after 3 rejections in the past 5 days. So the bulls do have some momentum here. Support to maintain higher lows at this point is 249. We bounced off that level 3 times. And on the weekly time frame, we can see now we have our higher low established down at that 249 level and 238 level. And the bulls need to see a break of 282 to shift this weekly momentum fully back and control the bulls. So still a lot of work to do there as well. EMC looked like we were going to be testing the all-time lows here, but the bulls showing up and closing strong. Although EMC is so thinly traded that you can really, I don't know if manipulate's the right word, but you can dictate where the close is going to be without a lot of money. So, you know, if I had $100,000 in EMC and the bid and the ask spread is pretty wide. It would only take, $10,000 at the end of the day to get a little push to see this strong close. Either way, it is a strong close. Have to break 171, which was the high of the reaction since earnings, to try and turn this momentum around. Otherwise, it will just be another lower high. So early next week, keep an eye on 171. If we can break that level, then it looks like that all-time low will be holding for now. So a nice strong close here. The weekly time frame is bouncing off the 200-week moving average support yet again. This is the 5th time we've bounced off this level since June, and it is a key one to be holding, or to watch hold. And we have a descending triangle pattern where we have a horizontal base of support and lower highs tightening ranges. So the bulls on the weekly time frame have to break 190 to change and break this pattern in favor of the bulls, and otherwise we are just going to continually be looking to defend the support, trying to see a bullish MACD cross follow through. Essentially, it looks like we're going to see the middle Bollinger Band and the 200-week moving averages converge into a really tight pattern, and we're going to see a close above that middle Bollinger Band resistance or a close below the 200-week support that will indicate midterm direction, and we'll be waiting for that sometime in the month of September, it looks like, as it continues to drop each week. FIRE resistance 123. We topped out at that level 3 times this week. New higher low of support is 119. If we break 123, I'm looking at 126 and 132. And if we break 119, we're looking down at 117 and 115. So the bulls have a little bit of momentum, a lot of volume, but not a lot of price action in terms of a 1 cent move between the low and the high of Friday. So certainly not a lot of liquidity and volatility. But the bulls here, this is all coming down to 2 levels, 108 and 132. Break of 108 and the bears take completely back over. Break of 132 and we have a higher low and a higher high on the weekly, and a complete shift in the momentum to favor the bulls. And right now we're about in the middle of that range and have to see which direction we're going to break. MJN, a lot of profit taking, most profit taking out of any name that we're covering here, and that's because we closed at the low of the day with a lot of bear momentum, and we didn't break resistance of 239, 238, and we topped out at 237 and it closed down at the low, and it's the lowest close we've seen in 3 weeks. So definite profit taking, a ton of volume showing us that, and now down here we're looking at support of 222, and the next level after that is going to be down at 214. So bears starting to take back over in MJN. Bulls must form a higher low compared to 201. We have a higher low and higher high pattern, but if we break 201, we lose that higher low pattern, and we will not see a bull MACD cross if that level is lost. So bulls trying to maintain the higher low pattern on the weekly, just like all of these bulls are attempting to do at this point. HMMJ shows the profit taking across the sector pretty clearly with that big upper wick, and we will have to be watching for a turnaround in momentum. We have a higher low and a higher high here, but we really need to see the bulls break 872, and we topped out at 868. 872 is the highest bounce attempt that we've seen in the past 6 weeks, and key support 848 and 849 has multiple touches in the past few weeks. Weekly time frame trying to change the trend and not really doing so convincingly. We did form a higher low here at 837, just barely by 1 penny. And we have to make our way all the way back up to 966 to see a higher high. We're a long way away from that happening. So the sector as a whole has not seen a complete turnaround with momentum favoring the bulls at this point. So a little bit of exciting action Friday, certainly compared to what we've been seeing, but not the close with momentum the bulls were looking for. So still being patient, and I am personally not going to be sitting in long positions anymore at this point because it's just stagnant money. I am trading cryptocurrencies most of my time these days, and there's so much more opportunity there than there is here in the Canadian space, and I'm very confident that I'm not going to miss, a huge breakout and see things run away with me, and days like Friday make me even more confident of that. So I will have money around for when I do want to initiate long-term positions when we have bullish momentum, but otherwise, I personally, as an active trader who is monitoring things and on the computer often, I find it to be a waste of money just to be stagnantly sitting there trading sideways when there's better opportunities around. So that's just me personally. The long bulls don't really have anything to worry about at this point. They're just patiently waiting, and we are all waiting for 2018. So I appreciate you watching. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next week.